Okay, so for today's session, we are discussing about what is sensation and perception. So, anybody of you guys tell me about the sensation? What do you think about it? Please respond, guys. Any of your thoughts regarding this? Okay, let's begin. So basically today we will discuss about sensation procession, sensory pathway, vision, hearing and balance, taste and smell, touch and pain, language and thinking. We all will discuss today about these topics. Okay. So our first topic is sensation and procession. So guys, what do you think about sensation? Sensation, when detecting something by the sensory organs, that is the sensation. Means if you feel something warm from the sunlight, you feel warm, that is your sensation. When your sensory organs responds to the outside stimulus, and the precision, when that outside stimulus is detected by the brain and understand or recognized by the brain, that is precision. As you could see from the diagram, you will visible butterfly from the eye. That is butterfly is a stimulus here, and I is recognizing it. It's a sensation. But when it interprets by the brain, that is precision. Let's move to next slides. Okay, how sensation become precision? Let's we discuss about this. So we have some steps regarding this. First of all, detecting stimulus. Okay, you have all sensory organs like ear, eyes, these things about the signals about from the world around you. You can see each and everything, just like a car, moving car, butterflies, environment. You can feel that. You can see trees. These all are the stimulus for your sensory organs. So for the next, we're discussing about transduction. What is this? The conversion of sensory stimulus into neural signals. Means our brain is changing the signals which the sensory organs can stimulate. And then transmission. In transmission, these neural signals from sent to the brain via sensory neurons. Here is the sensory neurons work as a transport material. It could transport something from a place to the different place. So sensory neuron is work as a transporter. Last is interpretation. How your brain interprets that signal. If you saw a tree is a stimulus for your eyes, ears, and the sensory receptors interpret that, send it to the brain via sensory neurons, and our brain interprets that. That is how her sensation become precision. I hope you will all get this. Okay, move to next slide. Real life applications. How sensation and precision important to our real life application. For everyday activity, we saw world around us. As we have discussed, we saw world around us. For safety also, if we are in danger, we can get our sensory organ can detect it by, suppose if there is a fire in a room, you can listen the fire alarm by your ears. Your sensory organ, there is an ear which detects the fire alarm. communication also. Interpreted facial expression, tone of voice, and body language. So these are all our daily, everyday importance of sensation and precision. Okay, now next is impact of impairments. Okay, so sensory impairment. As I'm audible to you all, yes, please respond. Is I'm audible to you all? So we are discussing about the impact of impairments. Okay, so first of all, sensory impairments, it includes deafness and blindness. For perceptual impairment, some like disorders which we have discussed about this in the next two slides. Before that, you could see that image here that is determine the perception. Everybody has different perceptions regarding different images. Just example, you can see it's a 6 or it's maybe a 9. For one person, it's a 6. For another person, it could be 9. So that is the perception which matters to different person with the different ideologies. Okay, here are some questions which we all should have to discuss. I must ensure that you all will participate in this discussion. So, for our first question, you can see, can you provide an example of a situation where your perception is different from the actual sensory input? So, guys, can you? I'm waiting for the answers.
Does it happen, for example, when someone touches something hot?
Nice. Anyone else? You can reply in chat box as well as. Okay, there are so many examples you can see. Just for example, reflection of light to an eye surface, as well as listening music of different taste. It could be maybe it's emotional to someone else, it may be enjoyable for someone else. So you can see happy, sad emotions of different person by listening different music. So it is a lots of examples in your daily life you can see. So moving to the next question. Explain how sensation and precision work together to help you understand the world around us. Provide an example of a situation where what you sense might differ from what you perceive and discuss why this different might occur. So guys, I'm waiting for your answer. Is am audible to you all? Because you are not responding.
Does it want an example like the question number one?
Uh,
I don't really get what does it want.
you for question number one, that your perception might be different from the actual sensory inputs. For this, you may have examples of just example for music. You are listening a music, it might be a sad song, but you will feel happy while listening it, not feeling sad. So that is the perception differ
Oh,
from the
okay. Like for
actual
question number
sensory.
two,
Okay, for question second, anybody else can answer it? Any one of you like to part the discussion? Okay, let me tell you. So the question is explain how sensation and perception work together to help you understand the world around us. We had discussed it earlier as you saw a water bottle near you. So when you saw it, it is a stimulus for your eyes. Eyes is a sensory organ and it stimulates it as a something regarding it. But when sensory when sensory neurons take it to the brain, it interpret it as a water bottle. So the sensation and precision, that's how work together to help you to see around the world or to listen something, to communicate with others as well as. Okay, so here is some part of the question. Provide an example of a situation where what you sense might differ from what you perceive. Okay, for example of this, you can see a previous image, this. You might see it's a 6, but it could be a 9 also. So your perception and your sensation might be different for this. I hope you guys understand it. Yeah,
well,
somebody
can
is
I give an
raising hand.
example for question number two to check?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, it's like I want to make sure if my idea is right or not. Like for example, the food I smell, it can be different from what I taste, right? So that's an example for perception and sensation, right?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, somebody is raising their hand.
Oh, okay.
Just have a question. Does your first uh,
Shall I start now? Okay, let's begin the session. We are discussing about the impact of impairments. Okay, for sensory impairment, just like blindness, deafness. Okay, people have a If it stops, then all of you must join it as soon as possible. Okay. So, what are the treatment for this thing? Means you can see that if we are focused, if we do the just basically look at this. If we do the monocular vision from the left side, our the senses of the right side may be degraded, or maybe it's lost working because the whole work is come to the left side. So due to, or it's maybe a genetic that your right side photoreceptors may be not working properly. So for this, what are the possible treatments? You can see genetic therapy, which could fix the genetic problem, or sending electrical signals to the brain via bypass damaged eye, restoring or replacing the damaged the photoreceptor vision. As as we are discussing that there should be an element or a machine which could interpret our photoreceptors to the electrical signals. That is the thing we should discussing about here. Yeah, we should restoring a machine, a manual transition which could detect our photo signals to the electrical signals, basically a lights to the electrical one using in this treatment. Moving to the next slide. Okay, before this, we were discussing some question. What caused the common vision problem like myopia or hyper? Anybody else can see this? What are the common problems we are daily facing that might be doing taking a lot of stress, or you can say that today's are the common problem using mobile phone a lot, maybe, or our lens get degrade regarding this that may cause the myopia as well as hypermyopia. How does the brain concept from the blind spot in our visual field? How does anybody of us get the answer? Be interactive, guys. Please be interactive.
The shape of the eye itself.
Mm.
I
Anything
mean,
else?
is the lens if concave or convex more than the normal shape, it cause common vision problems.
Yeah. Basically, our blind spot is that a point of eye where light could not transmit to the neurons to the electrical signals. Basically, we can't convert. If a light support to the blind spot of our eye, we cannot see the image properly. We cannot interpret the signals into the electrical ones. Moving to the next question. Can you explain the phenomena of color blindness? What happened in the eye of someone who is colorblind? We have discussed it later on. That is monocular vision. You can say basically due to the monocular reason, color blindness could be found. So moving to the next topic, that is hearing and balance. Okay, basically what is how auditory system works. You can listening the sound of pitching, high sound, low sound, high pitch, low pitch, or what is the duration of the time of the sounds, you can get it. Basically, it helps us to hearing, understanding the sound, detect its the different qualities. such as high pitch, low pitch, loudness, duration, how it's lasts long, as well as its location, where it's coming from. Your eye could stimulate. If you listen a sound from the right side, your ears can detect it's coming from there. It also breaks complex sound into the separate part of frequency, which can be sensed easily. You can also call it as a balancing horn. We will discuss in the coming up slides. So moving to the next one, that is, can you hear me now? Okay, just tell me, how could you hear something? Just tell me the basics, which you know.
It must have a sound.
Yeah. How your ear could interpret that sound. Okay. When a sound wave,
I was going to say sound is a mechanical wave, so it
yeah,
basically need it basically need a space to move through. So
okay,
or a media. So as mentioned in the presentation in this slide, sound make a wave into the pressuring the air, which lead to transmitting this vibration to our eardrums.
yeah, that's very nice. Okay, so basically, a sound waves travel in both longitudinal as well as horizontal waves. That is from the physics part, you guys getting to know about it. So, sound travels in a harmonic motion as well as when it reaches to our ear due to the pressures of the ears and all other environmental factors, it's moved to our ear canal or a tympanic membrane where it reaches to the eardrum. When it surrounds to the eardrum starts vibrating. When it's reach here like this, it starts. When it starts to the eardrum, reaches to the eardrum, it starts vibrating. Due to this vibration, our presence of three bones here. You can see the three bones here. Sorry, guys. Yes, these three bones. That is insus, staples, metallus. So these three bones, these are hammer-shaped anvils and the stirrup shape. These three get also vibrating. These are the tiny bones in the ear. These are the importance for our hearing, the vibration of these bones. They get vibrated and they send the signals when it's reached to the staples. What it's do, it moves and create a wave in our cochlea, which is cochlea is that part round you can see here. It's filled up of a fluid. In that fluid, it creates waves, and these waves turn into the electrical signals. Waves get turned into the electrical signals. And I don't know why it's happening again and again. So let's start again the session. Okay. So as
I just
where did
have a question about this part.
yes, you can ask. Please.
Okay, so for example, deaf people, so they can't hear because they have a problem in receiving the vibrations or in the bones that are in the ear.
Okay. So basically, if it's a genetical problem, so that might be there is something in cochlea or there might be some defect in the bones. But if you can see it's from an accidental or it's something from high sound harmful, so that may penetrates there will be your eardrum, means you can see some small spots in your eardrum which could not provide proper wave to that eardrum, means it could not vibrate, could not send the vibration properly to them. It could not vibrate if it's from an accidental or from some injury and anything else from high sound, it could harm your eardrum. But if it's a genetical, it may be might some problem in the bones or maybe some cochlear fluid get absent in that case, or it may be in decrease in the quantity.
في البتاع اللي هي جنب الحوض اللي في مفتوحة دي.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for illustrating.
let's continue. Okay, when it's reached to the cochlea is filled up of a fluid. It's get vibrated and the vibration transferred to the hair cells, which are the specialized receptor cells, and send these hair cells send the signals to the brain. When we are going to end the session, okay, we have 2 to 3 more topics, that is taste and touch. After that, we can end the session. Did you get bored? Okay, let's begin it. So that's how you can hear some sound due to this mechanism. That is the very basic thing we are discussed here, and it is very, very basics and important to got to know about these things. That the wave passing through your ear in the formation of sounds get vibrate your eardrum. This vibration is transmitted to these 3 bones, macula, incecus, and stapler. The stapler sends this vibration to the cochlea, which is filled up of a fluid that is known as cochlear fluid, which send this vibration to the hair signals, and the hair cells, which are specialized receptors, get the signals and transfer it to the brain, which could interpret that signals. Okay, moving to the next slide. Okay, guys. Okay, that is from pressure wave to electrical signals. Before starting this, I must see that you will watch the video. Please listen the video very carefully. Okay, guys. It's chapter 3. Okay. So, do you get that? I hope you like the video. So basically, the part of the cochlea helps you to determine whether the sound is a low pitch or a high pitch. Due to this reason, you can differentiate between high, low pitch. So these all the sounds get by the sensory hairs of the pectoral membrane and then sends to the electrical signals, and these electrical signals to the brainstem, the thalamus, which could detect it, and auditory party to the auditory, send to the auditory cerebral cortex, which detects the sound, and you get it. So, do you get that? Do you have any doubt? Okay, move to the next part. That is making sense of sound. Okay. Okay, so what is the brainstem and the thalamus helps to determine the direction of the sound using the information both ears and ear sound of the cortex. Basal membrane in the ear mean yes, somebody is asking something. Okay. If you have any doubt, Anas, please turn off your mic if you don't have any kind of doubt. Okay. So, the basal membrane in the ear maintains the ability to detect different frequencies. These basal membranes helps into detecting of different frequencies. And the neurons in the cortex, the cortical neurons, basically how sounds produce. It's loud, its change, its intensity, its duration, and changes in the frequency. This helps you to detect neuron like high sound during low sound. The cortical neuron helps to detect it. The higher level of neurons can interpret more complex aspects of sound, just that its harmony, rhythmic, melodious, or the voice of the instruments helps to detect it by the higher level of the neurons. And the left side of the brain is crucial for understanding and producing of the speech. This area is known as Wernicke's area, and if these areas get damaged, you are not able to understand the word which is spoken by, which is said by the others. You are not able to hear the speech for a different person. That is the Wernicke's area. So moving to the next slide. Treating of hearing loss. So basically, do you have any kind of doubt? If no, please turn your mic off. Mute yourself, please. Okay. So treatment, basically hearing treatment is research is still going on. Basically, we said that the damaging of hair cell, if we replace that If we replace that, you can treat it as some. Switch off. I'm meeting with you. If you have any kind of doubt, you can raise your hand. Okay. So for treatment of hair loss, we will just said that the hair growth in hair cells that is present in our cochlea, we should replace that. We can get the treatment of hearing loss. But for this, our research is still going on. That's why we are preferring the uses of machineries for the people who can't hear properly. Okay, guys, let's move to the next slide. That is the taste and the smell. Okay, as you know, these both are contributing to taste of food. Gustration is for taste and olfaction is for smell. Okay, these are very important for our survival. If we are not able to detect the smell, it could or our whole factory or gustration receptors get affected or get disturbed. It may be harmful for our life. We can't even smell anything around us. As you have heard that the person is not able to smell the things, so they will not smell around the harmful gases, but it could be dangerous for them as well as. So moving to the next slide, from the molecules to the taste. Okay, when you chew or drink a molecule, you realize or detect its taste. Your taste bud get developed it, and your tongue or mouth all will get its taste. Whenever in the time you can eat it, your mouth or your sensory organ detects that taste. You have 5,000 to 10,000 taste buds, each containing 50 to 100 cells that detect the basic taste, that is sweet, sour, salt, bitter. Okay. These taste cells are spread all over your tongue, not just to a specific areas. When you taste something, your taste buds areas get detect whether it is a sweet, whether it's a sour thing, whether it's a salty things. So for this, our whole tongue get 5,000 to 10,000 taste buds, which contain 50 to 100 cells, which could detect it. Okay, the taste stimulus receptor send the signals to the three cranial nerves, that is the facial, glossopharyngeal, and vasa nerves. These are present in the gustatory cortex of the frontal lobe of your brain, detects the taste that interprets whether the taste is sweet, sour, or salty. These are the special taste receptors. Moving to the next slide. Okay. In this smelling process, when there is a how would you smell when there is something tiny particles present in your ears or it get closer to your nasal cavity? You can get that odor. These particles binds to the specific cell present in your nasal cavity or in your nose, which sends the signals to the olfactory bulbs of your nostrils. And these olfactory bulbs of each nostril detect that signal and send it to the cerebral cortex without passing it to the thalamus, to the olfactory lobe, and then the signals is detected by, and you can get it how the smell is pleasant or it's foul smell, you can detect it from there through the olfactory cells. Okay, one important thing to determine that your nose has thousands of different types of smell, which can detect the thousands of different smells. Means your nose have thousands of olfactory cells, which can detect different types of smells present around you. Okay, your olfactory cells have a hair-like cilia structure which detects the smell. Our brain can identify smell super quickly, sometimes in 1000th millisecond after the first sniff. The size and the organization of the olfactory bulbs may varies to your ages, means it may be more in children than in the old age people or in the adults. So it may vary, but their size and their organization helps you to smell or to sense that odor very quickly. Okay. Combination of taste and smell. Sometimes you feel that you taste, you smell it's not good, but you taste it's very well. Here is difference between sensation and perception. Means you sense it, it's not a good smell. But when you taste it, your perception might be changed. It's a nice thing. So our senses of smell plays a biggest role in experiencing flavors. When we combine taste and smell, it makes the flavors seem richer. For example, in our brain, information from taste and smell often mix in certain areas. There are even some brain cells in the frontal lobe that responds to both taste as well as for smell. Our age group have ability to smells or decrease if we are in getting at older age. Our receptor cells maybe get degenerate. Just a second, guys. So we are discussing about the combinations. You may smell something good or the taste might be good. But if you may smell something bad, you will see its taste might be good. So there is a difference between the sensation of perception here you can see. Okay, if maybe you can say that if your smells or your taste receptors is not responding properly, the possible treatment is you can might say that the stem cell therapy. Here are some questions. Why can exposure to the loud sounds lead to hearing loss? As we discussed it. Does anybody tell me that? Okay, let me. When we expose to a loud sound, our eardrum or our tympanic membrane may get harmed, due to which the vibration is not sending properly to our muscles, to our bones of the ears, which could not interpret my brain. Why might our senses of taste change when we have a cold? Does anybody know about it? Or share your views? Anyone? Okay. So when you get cold, they may cold maybe disturb your receptor cells, maybe disturbs your body functioning. That's why you can't taste, or your taste may be changed. When you get fever or anything just like body ache, when you don't like the food taste due to the presence of some uncertainty in your body, the body might be facing some problem that could be change your taste, your smell, because your receptors don't responding to it very quickly and very well. For the next question, why are smell closely linked to the memories and emotions? Okay, you ever saw a small baby? It detects the sound of its mother or its father very quickly. If you not just saw that, a small baby first of all detects their nearby ones by their smell, by the body odor. So when they smell it, they can easily detect it. That's why a smell is linked to our memories and our emotions. For the fourth question, how can the sense of a smell be affected by the age or illness? Okay, as we discussed, while getting aged or in illness, we had our smell or the olfactory odors get reduced by the age, or in some illness we can't get the proper receptors for that. Our receptors getting reduced in numbers while we are getting aged. That's why this affects our sense of smell. Moving to the last part. Okay, guys. So we are end up today. We are end up today here, as our last topic is touch and pain is still left. We will discuss it later on the next class or on the next session. So guys, I hope you will like it. Okay, we'll stop recording the session. Okay. Yes. Somebody is discussing.
Hello?
Yeah, you can speak up. I can listen.
I'm sorry, the call just ended suddenly. I was saying that does when we're talking about like precision, that does like having the first impression about someone and having a bad like sense about them work as an example.
Yeah, it could work as an example. The mind to sense it, but how you precise it, how your sensory organs reflect your stimulus, that is your sensation. But how your mind recognize that stimulus, that is perception. I hope you get it. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Is somebody asking? Okay. So our next topic is sensory pathway. Sensory pathway. What is a sensory pathway? The pathway that routes the sensory information takes from brains to sense organ to the brain. Means when your sense organs take some information through sensory neurons to the brain, and that is your sensory pathway. Means there are 5 sense organs as well, as we all know. I saw something, the sight, the image reflects by the sensory neurons to our brain, that is that the pathway for sighting is the sensory pathway. For example, sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, all the 5 senses your combines is a sensory pathway. Moving to next stage, components of sensory pathway. Okay, our body receptors have different types of signals. Our body have a different type of signals like light in the eyes, touch, or the skins. Okay, these signals send through the nerve fibers to the brain and the spinal cord. Is something asking me? Any question? If not, please turn your mic off. Request. Okay, let's begin again. So, these signals that you send through the nerve fibers to the brain and the spinal cord. How these processed? For this, you have receptors which detect the signals such as light, touch. These receptors send these signals to the neurofibers, which carries the signals to our central nervous system, CNS, and then the CNS send these signals to our motor neurons and then through the brain to the spinal cord, and the brain are interpret the information. You can see here the flow chart in the pathway showing here. You saw a stimulus which followed by the receptors or the sensory organs, which can we see. That impulse flows through the sensory organs to the relay neuron of the central nervous system. And these impulse now get carried by the motor neurons, which help. You basically saw an example of when you touch something hot. Your skin feels that stimulus, that it's hot. That interprets the finals to the sensory neurons, these impulse, and then these impulse sent to the CNS through the relay neuron, and then the relay neurons take it to the motor, and then our muscles of a hand make our hand fight off from that hot thing. That is our response, which is taken by the brain. I hope you get it. Okay. Let's move for next to the slide. Okay, that is the example which we have discussed from sensation to perception, how it could, you touch a hot thing and the sensory receptors take the stimulus to the sensory neurons here from the CNS and takes to the spinal cord or the brain. Then our spinal cord sends the signals to the motor neuron and we take off our hand. That's image is showing here, and that is the sensation to perception, how it helps us. For next slide, vision. Our next topic is vision. Does anybody know about what we're discussing about it or something about vision want to tell?
Maybe we are going to talk about occipital part of the brain.
Oh, nice. Okay, let's move. First of all, vision basic eye structure. That's our eye basic eye structure, which could be seen here. So it involves 30% of human cerebral cortex. For basic, we can just say that light passes through the cornea and it enters the focus of the lens and to the pupil. Then iris regulate the amount of the light which helps to change it by the pupil. Lens bends the light to the eyeball to the retina. Then retina cells get interpreted it and sends to the optic nerves which taken to the brain and we interpreted that image. That is the basic thing. I think you all should know about it. So for going to next slide. Okay. So our retina has 3 basic neurons in our eye. That is first photoreceptor, which carries rods and cones, and you were saying a word macula's here, and the interneuron and ganglion cells. So for the photoreceptors, what these are doing basically, these cells detect the light and turn it into the electrical signals, as you see from the name photoreceptors. Changing the photo means light and interpret it to the act as a receptors, which could be helping description of the sensation. So here, photoreceptor basically detects the light and turning into the electrical signals. So you can see here rods and cones are here. So 95% of photoreceptors are rods and rest of them are cones in our eye. These rods helps in a low light seeing. You can see in the dim light by the help of your rods. And the 4 cones, this help in you seeing the colors. Just like red, you can see red color, green color, blue color around yourself colors. You can see by the cones. These especially in the bright light, they are working in the bright light. You can see detailing of the images and the fine detailing that are the working of the cones. Okay, so more important thing is that the cone is concentrated in the fovea, which is an important sharp color vision. Next we move to macula's. What is macula's? Area around fovea is macula's. The fovea is here, you can see it from the image. This is your fovea. Yes, we're asking us some question. Please pick up.
Okay. Okay. As I see here, our brain can see the light. He just translates the electrical message coming from the nerve, right?
Yes.
So if we created some type of machine that like a camera that understands after analyzing the electrical message coming from this nerve and then understand the formula like the green. Do you know binary system?
Sorry, I can't get your voice clearly.
I So sorry, my English is not that good, but I am trying to explain my idea. Do you know
please
the
share it.
computer binary system?
Yes.
Okay, it's like it's like a translation between human language and the computer and machine language. We can do the same thing between like a blind human. We if we analyze the pattern of electrical message coming from the eye, the retina of the eye to the occipital part of the brain, we can
Yes, we
find the
can.
formula that let our brain understand. Yeah.
Yes, we can. If
What did you say?
you will think about the new brain machines which interprets the brain signals.
Exactly,
About
which
yes,
can help blind people to be able to see things like us.
yes, just like that. These machines basically work on these things that they interprets the light and convert it into the electrical signals, which could be easily detected by the machinery, or we can say by our brain also.
So we can help people that have some damage to the nerve of the eye itself. But if he or she has a problem into the central nervous system itself, we can't help them.
It's depend which neural problem is going on, or which symptoms it could affect it. If it's just only for the interpretations of something, just like colors, things, some photoreceptors which include photoreceptors, yes, you can do it. The research must going on, and maybe, and in neuroscience we can say our brain is a mystery box. You can research and get some new things. So yeah, it could be in future also. Yeah, somebody is
Okay,
also raising their hand.
thanks for answering.
Oh, anybody else wants to ask something? Okay, we move to the slide back. Here is your phobia, which we discussed. So, macular degenerations, what does it lead? It is a condition where photoreceptor areas are not working, means you will be facing some blindness, or you can also detect it as a color blindness, that people are not able to differentiate between green, blue, yellow colors. So that is due to the macular degenerations. Macula is mainly a key, which is like for reading and for driving, crucial. Means these areas is near a fovea, which helps us to differentiate between the colors, which is an important part of photoreceptors also. If a person is from color blindness, that means her macular region is degenerated. So next we move to the interneuron and ganglion cells. These cells take the signals from the photoreceptors and processes to the information. What they basically do, they take up all the informations from these cells and send it to the brain, where the brain interprets that signal. So then what happened? We have discussed that the 3 layers of retina inputs, and in the macular region, basically, which is the center of retina, cones detect lights, which sends to the interneurons signals. These cones send the signals to the interneurons, and these signals by the interneuron sends to the ganglion cells. Okay. These setups allow for a detailed, clear, fine vision. As we know, cones are for bright light, and they are the fine detailing things to do. So these are the resolution of the fine details, means you can see the fine details of the little things. You can see the colors around yourself due to the cones. For margins of retina, that is the outer areas. So here is the photoreceptor cells, which are maybe cones, maybe rods, both are. This sends to the signals to the ganglion cells directly. Here is the working of the interneurons, as you see in the macular region, where only the cones are involved, but in the margins of retina, both rods and cones are involved, and they send direct to the ganglion cell. No interneurons is present here for the transfers of the signals. What happened to their descents? Then this setup is responsible for peripheral visions, which is the less detailed because it includes rod also, which is working the dim lights, and you can see it as the dim light is working, and we are not seeing the fully detailed things, but you can visual it out. So each ganglion cell responds to a specific part of a visual field, which is known as effective field. Effective field, you can see that these are the field where each ganglion cell responds to the particular or a specific part of a visual field. Moving to the next slide. Okay. How visual information processed? How do you think it's happened? Anybody else want to share about it? How visual information processed? Okay. So basically, a light enters through your eye. For basic eye structure, we will discuss light enter to the eye. Pupil, iris detect the amount of light. Pupil make it muscles movable, how much light to be entered, and then it pass to the lens, and then lens focus issue. That is a basic thing which we all know. So let's go some details regarding this. When a light enters to the eye, it passes to the lens and reaches to the retina at the back of the eye. Okay, in retina, as we know, we have specialized cells called ganglion cells, which have a sensitive centers and a surrounding area. If light hits that center, it activates the cell. If light hits that center, it activates the cell. If it hits around the area, it stop activated that cell, or it's about to respond, it's a V. Basically, you can simply just remember that when a ganglion cell send the light to the center where it is basically present, where it are more specialized, then you can see you have a light sensor that the cell get activated. But if it hits different areas other than the center, around the center, it stops the cell activity. These both hits the response in a V. The retina changes the light into the electrical signals, which travel through the optic nerve to the brain. These signals first met at the junction of the optical chiasma, where the both fibers from the both eyes cross over each other. As you can see here, optical chiasma, as the both these are signals crossing each other. That is the optical chiasma. The left side of the both eye sends the signals to the left side of the brain, and the right side to the right side of the brain. Is this the simplest thing you can right side the signal right side, and left to the left side. Okay, from there the signal moves to the thalamus, where the primary vertical cortex at the back of the brain, where the branch and processing. So here you can see that the optical chiasma sending the signals to the brain thalamus, and then it visualize the information of the processing. Moving to the next. Have any doubt regarding this? Okay, let's move to the next slide. Visual cortex, which includes layer, angles, and streams. So, the primary visual cortex is a part of a brain that's located the optical lobe. Our optical lobe is mainly important for the visualization, as you all know. It gets messages from the thalamus, which helps which help to which helps you can saw the image or visual mapping. You can say that. And we have a middle layer, which detects the basic shape if the edges or the bars. Then this information, all the information is passed to the visual cortex and then it passed to the brain for recognizing the complex visuals, just as the specific objects. If you see a butterfly, then that is a primary visual or optic lobe from the brain interpreted as that is a visual things. Okay, visual cortex, layer and angles. There are two pathways basically we're discussing, that is the dorsal stream and that is the ventral stream. In dorsal stream, basically that is towards the parietal lobe and ventral stream is down the parietal lobe. Basically in dorsal stream, where is the stream? That is this pathway helps us to understand where the things and their shapes. It is used for information about color, shape, along its the memories, how to recognize the object. For example, identifying a dog as your neighbor's rather than yours. That's discussing about the question where you can stream it, where the things and the shape thing comes up. So you recognize a dog, but you can differentiate it. It's not yours, it's your neighbor. That is the dorsal stream. For the ventral stream, that is what stream? Then ask. This pathway combines information about where the things are in a space or how they move and the time, create, and actions without needing conscious thought. For example, you reacted, shout, stop if in it an emergency. That is what such stream. It depends upon the combination of relationship, timing, motions. Not you cannot differentiate it. You feel it's an emergency. You basically stop it if you feel that there is a fire in a hall where you all are gathered. Then your immediate action is that just run from here. That is the ventral stream. Means what to do. These are the two basic importance that's between the dorsal and the ventral stream. You can see the ventral stream in the temporal lobe, while in the dorsal stream in the parietal lobe. These are the portions which are responsible in optical lobe to the ventral lobe. This area is responsible for visual streaming, while the parietal lobe here is from optical to parietal. It is responsible for dorsal visual streaming. Moving to the next slide. That is I come in Paris. Okay. Here we discuss about the binocular vision. Binocular vision means using both eye to see, which helps in judging how far away the object is, how depth it is. When our both eye work together, it creates a large field view as you can see. When both eye work, that is the binocular view and you can see the area covered is more than the monocular vision of left eye than the monocular vision of right eye. Both of them, when both work, they combine a long vision. You can see. Just do one thing: close your one eye and saw the things, and then close your left eye, saw from the right eyes, and then close your right eye and see from the left eye. The things you covered the area from the left eye is limited, and as well as from the right eye it's also limited. But when you saw the thing from the both eye, you can cover a large amount of area. That is binocular vision we are talking about. There is a You can see there is a problem in the people, that is the crossed eye. In this, our both eyes is not working properly. They had a monocular vision, so they can't see the things properly as in the binocular vision. There, due to this, their sensation may be affect, due to which they can perceive the things very clearly. And are you guys get it? The point about the binocular vision, how its importance. Okay, so moving to the next slide, that is treatment of visual disorders. That we earlier discussed about the strabismus, that is the crossed eye defect. In this, our one eye vision is more and the other one become less, due to which we are facing a problem in the perceptions as well as in the sensation. Basically, if we start using one eye more for everything, the other one loses its senses, leads to blindness. This happens if the light sensitive cells, such as photoreceptors, stop working or die, often due to genetic problems. So this, just a minute, guys. There is some issue again. I don't know what is happening here.